Okay, so you may have seen the quote in the description. Maybe you didn't. But the quote is the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. And I fully agree with that. Evil is a term that your opinion probably matters more to yourself than anyone else. Religious people believe that evil is like Satan or, you know, anyway, evil just meaning not good for society, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I am PH, your host, and you're listening to day 3 of the 5 days to fix the US. We kind of did the intro a little bit different there, mostly because I'm sick of hearing myself say the same thing at the very beginning of every episode. So we're just kind of trying this out, changing things up a little bit. We're still going to stick with the short form podcasts, but we're going to start introducing hosts. And if you have any opinion, I guess, of who you'd want to hear on here, um, there's a link in the description for our Rumble channel. Go ahead and hit us up over there. We are keeping track of conversations that happen through there. And yeah, if you have any input, good or bad, we need constructive criticism as well. Go ahead and send it over there. So let's get back to the title, I guess. We'll bring that up. Clean the swamp. So people talk about that. They refer to Washington, D.C. as the swamp. Obviously, if we go through with what we talked about in the last couple episodes, there wouldn't need to be a cleaning of the swamp in D.C. Except, they would be our representatives for the world. So, vote as well as you can. But if we were able to give the power back to the states and even, filter some of that power back down to the counties, we would need to clean the swamps in our own states. And there's a few states that, in my opinion, their state senate and governor and judicial offices are kind of filled with swampy people. The first state that comes to mind is California. The second one would be New York. Obviously, those people are not there for anything more than to pander to the people that they think will vote for them. And the reality of it is, a lot of people are just voting the way that they were taught to vote. They're not even voting based off of their personal opinions on political topics or platforms. Really, what they're doing is voting the way that their grandma and their parents voted. And it's unfortunate because if they just spent a little bit of time looking into the people that they're voting for, they'd realize all of the bad things that are happening to them that are brought on by the government are because they voted for that person. I'm not saying everyone needs to vote for the left or the right. What I'm saying is we need to find people that are willing to go out there and work for the people based off of the opinion of the populace and not a small group of people or billionaires. It's very, very likely that, when people get to Washington, D.C., it's far enough away from their state that they feel safe in doing the bad things that they're doing over there. Making, under the table deals, including earmarked stuff into bills and laws. The stuff that it can't be undone until it goes through the Supreme Court, and that could take years. So as far as cleaning the swamp, you need to look at the person that you're voting for governor. You need to look at the people that you're voting for your state senate. Anyone that would be in charge, people in charge in the county. You need to look at your mayors. You need to start sending a message in that way where you vote based off of what their morals are. Like that's really all it comes down to, because no matter how many promises they make, if there's no morals behind it, they're not going out there and representing you. You no longer have your vote doesn't matter. Even if you voted the person in, your vote just doesn't matter because they're pandering to you all the way up until election day. And then a lot of them are going through and they follow this pattern, and you can see it with senators and presidents and stuff like that, the first few months after they're voted in, they start to do the things that they promised they would do. And then after those first few months, they start to do what they think needs to happen socially, economically, politically, all the way up until 6 months before the midterms. And then they go ahead and start doing the things that they promised they would do again, all the way up until the midterm elections. And then once that's over, they have another 2 years to screw around and do whatever they want until it comes time for them to be voted in or voted out again. There are honest, I would throw out there, God-fearing people that are willing to go represent you and won't bow to those people, won't make the backdoor deals. They can't be bought. They have a strong enough backbone to be able to go out there and represent you in a way that most people in your state can agree with. And if you don't like what's happening in your state, I know it sounds easy. Move. It's happening right now. Governor Newsom has pissed off a bunch of people in California and they're moving to Idaho. We see them all over the place. They came up here and inflated our housing market. They've done basically everything but help increase the wages because there's an influx of people. That's the problem with this area that's happening right now is economically, people are buying houses for double what they were worth 2 years ago, and they're only getting paid 11% more, maybe, than what they were getting paid 5 years ago here. And yeah, there will be a reset, some sort of reset where wages will have to come up because people will not be able to afford their houses. But anyway, that's a completely different story. If you don't like the state that you live in, you don't like the politics that they play, you either need to vote the person out or you need to move. Period. End of story. And I realize that there's a lot of people that have a hard time with that idea because they can't afford to, but there's plenty of resources out there to help you find a job, to help you sell your home in your current location. If you don't have a home, there's plenty of places out there to help you find apartments to move into, break leases if need be. It's unfortunate, but you'll take a little bit of a hit, but you'll be living in a better place. There's a huge reason why people are moving to Idaho right now. It's because we don't force taxes down your throat. We don't force you to do things that you don't want to do. And we don't use your tax dollars for social justice, I guess. Whatever that is. Anyway, yeah, so clean the swamp. Pay attention to midterms are coming up. Pay attention to who you're voting for. Talk to your friends and family about it. Get your community together and get a little bit more knowledge out there because a lot of people just go in and blindly vote for the same party that they've been voting for, and that's the biggest problem that we've run into. Thank you for listening to the episode. We really do appreciate it. The next episode is not going to be a part of this series. We're going to skip over the next episode, but day 4 will be coming up after the next episode. Stay safe, God bless, and see you next time.